A taxi driver was picking up passengers late at night. It was the kind of night where everyone in the back seat seemed like a potential serial killer, but he needed the money, so he didn't care. Taxis are usually filled with chatter, but this guy wasn't talking at all. He picked up the fare from the meter at the front and he paid with cash. No receipt was needed. He was sitting in a hot car in the middle of summer. As he's driving, he notices that the passenger in the back seat is unusually silent. The driver looked at him in the rearview mirror and saw that his face was pale and that he was sweating. When they arrived at the destination, the passenger got out of the car without saying a word. He opened the back door for him, but the man just stared straight ahead. It looked like paint, and then he smelled it. It was the same smell as the backseat of his car. The driver then noticed something strange. His skin was icy cold, like he had a fever. But how could that be? She had been in a car crash on that road 10 years ago. He then disappeared and the driver never saw him again. But sometimes when he drives at night, he feels something cold in the backseat of his car and he can still smell the blood. The other driver had run away, so he wanted to know if the driver had seen anything. Then the driver noticed something else. There was a blood stain on the man's clothes, but it didn't look like blood. The driver then remembered what the passenger had paid him with. It was an old model of the same car that he had picked up the passenger in. He looked back at the road and saw a pair of headlights in the distance. The car was driving slowly and it looked like it had a flat tire. The driver then slammed on the brakes and turned the car around. He drove back to the place where he picked up the passenger, but no one was there. The only thing he found was a crumpled up piece of paper on the sidewalk. He looked at the address on the paper and realized that it was his address. As it got closer, he could see that it was an old model of the same car that he had picked up the passenger in. He asked the driver if he had seen someone get into a car on that road 10 years ago. The driver said yes, because he was the one who had picked them up. He watched as the car came to a stop in front of him. The door opened and out stepped a man who looked exactly like the passenger, but there was something different about him. He didn't seem to have a shadow. The driver then turned to leave, but the man grabbed his shoulder and turned him around. The man then told him that the person he had picked up was his sister. The driver told him everything he knew and the man thanked him.